All right, so today we're diving into Red Queen
Oh, yeah.
by Victoria Aveyard.
That's a good one.
It's a young adult fantasy novel, but I think it's got something for everyone.
Oh, absolutely.
It throws us into this world where everything is decided by blood.
Literally.
Literally.
Yeah.
You've got the Reds who are just trying to survive, and the Silvers who have all these crazy powers and rule everything.
Yeah, they're at the top.
Yeah.
They control everything.
It's a wild ride.
It is a wild ride.
Buckle up.
Yeah.
So the story starts with Mare Barrow,
Yes.
this young red girl living in the Stilts,
She's tough.
which is one of the poorest red villages.
She's really scrappy, really resourceful.
Well, she's trying to support her family.
Doing everything she can.
Even if that means...
Even if it means stealing.
Yeah, resorting to theft.
Yeah.
So life for Reds
Yeah.
is not easy.
No, not at all.
Tell us a bit more about
Well,
what is Mare born into?
it's a world where, like you said, your blood color determines your whole life.
Mm.
Reds, they're born into poverty,
Yeah.
forced labor when they're old enough,
Hmm.
and then when they turn 18,
18.
conscription, they got to fight in a war that doesn't benefit them at all.
Yeah. And meanwhile, the Silvers are just
Living it up.
lounging around.
With their fancy powers.
Yeah.
Controlling everything.
So to make matters worse, they've got these events called the feats,
Right.
where these silver champions
Yeah.
show off all their powers.
Mm-hmm.
What's the deal with those?
It's more than just entertainment, you know?
Yeah.
It's a way to keep the Reds in check. Like, look at what we can do, and you can't.
Right. It's all about power.
It is. It's intimidating.
So where does Mare fit into all this?
What?
What's her story?
Her best friend, Killorn,
Okay.
he's about to turn 18.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Which means conscription's coming.
Right.
So she wants to save him, obviously.
Of course.
And she meets this smuggler named Farley, hoping Farley can get them out of the Stilts.
Mm-hmm.
But she doesn't know that this decision
Yeah.
is going to change her life forever.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
So what happens when she meets Farley?
Well, Farley's part of the Scarlet Guard.
Okay.
They're this rebel group.
Fighting for red rights.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And Mario gets caught up in one of their operations.
Oh.
Yeah, she sees the violence, the chaos firsthand.
That's got to be a turning point for her.
It is. It really is.
In what way?
It shows her that there's people fighting back.
Okay.
That maybe things can change,
Yeah.
but it comes at a cost.
What happens?
Her sister Gisa,
Okay.
she gets caught pickpocketing,
Oh.
and as punishment, they crush her hand.
Oh, no, her sewing hand.
Her sewing hand.
Oh, that's awful.
That's brutal.
It shows how cruel the Silvers can be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It makes Mary even more determined to fight back.
So how does Mary end up at the palace then?
Well, it's kind of a twist of fate.
Okay.
She runs into this silver guy named Cal,
Yeah.
and he helps her get a job as a servant at the palace.
Okay, so that's...
He doesn't know she's red, obviously.
Right, of course.
It seems small, but
Yeah.
it ends up changing everything.
I bet being at the palace is a huge shock for her.
Oh, yeah. It's a different world.
Or coming from the Stilts.
Total luxury and privilege.
And then there's this event called the Queen's Trial,
Right.
where all these silver women...
They're competing to marry the princes.
Yeah, to marry the princes.
And during the Queen's trial, something crazy happens.
What is it?
Mare falls into the arena, and she accidentally reveals she has powers.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
A red girl with silver powers.
I know.
That's got to cause some problems.
Oh, it throws everything into chaos.
What do the Silvers do?
They freak out. They make up a whole story
Wait.
saying she's a lost silver princess.
A princess.
And they betroth her to the second Prince Maven.
Wow, so now she's pretending to be one of them.
Yeah, it's dangerous. Right. She's got to play the part.
But she's also got all this resentment towards them.
Exactly. It's this constant battle for her.
And then on top of all that, there's two princes now.
Yeah.
Cal, who she met before.
Right.
And now Maven, who she's supposed to marry.
It's a mess.
What are these relationships like?
Well, both of them are complicated.
Okay.
Cal, he sees how unfair the system is, but he feels stuck, you know?
Yeah, like he can't change it.
Yeah, he's drawn to Mare, but their worlds are just so different.
And what about Maven?
Maven, at first, he seems to understand Mare's struggle.
Okay.
He says he wants a fairer world, too.
So she trusts him.
Yeah, he becomes her confidant.
But is he really who he says he is?
That's a good question.
So she's got this love triangle.
Yeah.
She's hiding her true identity. And she's stuck in this world that's completely foreign to her.
It's a lot.
It's got to be tough on her.
It is. She's torn between the silver world and her red roots.
So what happens next?
Well, things are about to get a lot more dangerous.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
All right, tell me more.
Let's dive in. As Mare gets more and more drawn into the silver world, she can't help but see how different their lives are from the Reds.
Like two different worlds.
Totally.
Yeah, and Mare's right in the middle.
Exactly.
Seeing it all firsthand.
The luxury, the parties.
And the cruelty.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They don't even seem to notice the Reds suffering.
And all this time, she's got Cal and Maven.
Right.
Both pulling at her.
It's a mess of emotions.
So how does she deal with all that?
It's a struggle.
Yeah.
She's looking for someone who gets it.
Someone who understands what she's going through.
Yeah, and she finds that in Maven.
Okay.
He seems to be on her side.
Right. He said he wanted change.
Yeah, and he listens to her secrets.
So she really starts to trust him?
Completely.
Does that lead her to do anything risky?
It does. She starts working with the Scarlet Guard, even helps them attack the palace.
That's a big move.
It is.
But you said she starts to have doubts about Maven.
Yeah, after the attack, she sees how Cal reacts.
How's that?
He's horrified by the violence. He doesn't want innocent people to get hurt.
Which is totally different from Maven.
Exactly.
So she's starting to see Maven's true colors.
Yeah, she's not sure she can trust him anymore.
But she still chooses him.
She does.
Why?
I think she wants to believe in him.
In the idea of him.
Yeah, and maybe she has feelings for him, too.
So she picks Maven.
Both romantically and politically.
That's a huge risk.
It is.
What happened?
It backfires big time.
Uh-oh.
Maven shows his true colors.
What did he do?
He betrays everyone. He and his mother, Queen Elara.
Queen Elara?
Yeah.
We haven't heard much about her.
She's been pulling the strings the whole time.
Really?
She has this power.
What kind of power?
She can control minds.
Whoa.
So she's been using Maven.
As a puppet?
Exactly.
So what do?
They stage a coup.
To take over the kingdom.
Yeah, it's brutal.
What happens to Cal?
Elara uses her power to make Cal kill his own father.
Oh my God.
The king.
That's awful.
And then they blame Cal for the murder.
So Maven can become king.
Exactly.
And where does that leave Mare?
She's branded a traitor along with Cal.
They both have to run for their lives.
Yeah, the Scarlet Guard helps them escape.
So they're on the run.
But they've lost everything.
Their families, their positions.
Everything.
And then there's that thing about Mare's brother.
Shade.
Right. What about him?
She finds out he's alive.
What?
And he has silver powers, too.
But she thought he was dead.
The Silvers lied to her.
This just shows how manipulative they are.
I know.
How does Mare take this?
It breaks her.
I bet.
All this betrayal. It makes her even more determined to fight back.
So what does she do?
She makes a choice.
What choice?
She can't be with Cal.
Because of everything that's happened.
Yeah, it's just too much.
So she focuses on the rebellion.
She joins the Scarlet Guard.
Wow.
Fully commits to their mission.
To bring down the Silvers.
And to create a world where blood doesn't matter.
That's a big goal.
It is.
So where does that leave her at the end of the book?
She's ready to fight.
For what she believes in.
For justice, for equality.
It sounds like a powerful ending.
It is.
But before we wrap things up,
Yeah.
Can you just remind us
Sure.
of the key things that happened to Mare?
Absolutely. Yeah, so Mare starts out in the Stilts, you know?
Right, that super poor red village.
Yeah, and she sees how hard life is for Reds.
And when her friend Killorn's about to get conscripted.
That's when she really starts thinking about rebellion.
Right, and then her sister Gisa.
Oh, it's awful what happens to her.
Yeah, getting her hand crushed just for pickpocketing.
It shows how brutal the Silvers are.
And then she ends up at the palace.
With Cal's help.
Right, and then boom, she reveals her powers.
At the Queen's trial, no less.
Talk about a shock.
And suddenly she's this lost silver princess.
Engaged to Maven.
Oh, it's all so crazy.
And she's got these feelings for Cal, too.
Yeah, it's a lot for her to handle.
And then Maven betrays her.
With his mother, Queen Elara.
Who can control minds.
Yeah, it's messed up.
And she makes Cal kill his own father.
Awful.
Awful.
Just awful.
And Mare and Cal, they become traitors.
Forced to run, they lose everything.
And then she finds out about Shade.
Her brother?
Yeah, she thought he was dead.
But he's alive and has powers too.
It's like the Silvers have been lying to her about everything.
They have.
But it just makes her stronger.
Yeah, it fuels her fight.
So she chooses the rebellion.
The Scarlet Guard.
Over Cal.
She can't be with him anymore.
Too much has happened.
Way too much.
So she dedicates herself to fighting for the Reds.
For a better world.
Where blood doesn't matter.
That's the goal.
It's powerful stuff.
It is Red Queen. It really makes you think.
About inequality and power.
And what we're willing to do to fight for what's right.
Mare's journey is inspiring.
Oh, absolutely.
She goes through so much.
Betrayal, loss, heartbreak.
But she never gives up.
Never.
It reminds us that we all have a choice.
To accept things as they are.
Or to fight for something better.
Like Mare does.
It's a powerful message.
Especially for young people.
Yeah, figuring out who they are and what they believe in.
Exactly.
I think we've given our listeners a lot to think about today.
I think so.
Red Queen. It's a thrilling story.
And it stays with you.
It makes you question things.
About power, about society.
And it gives you hope.
Hope for a better future.
That even one person can make a difference.
Wake Mare.
So until next time, keep diving deep.
And keep fighting for what you believe in.
And never forget the power of one spark.
To ignite a revolution.
We'll see you next time